Right, we're going to do an expose now, and we're going to dig into the past of the full facial mask man who likes to disappear and is frightened of speaking in public, it seems. So Joe Biden is a deep state actor. The 46th President of the United States, after his inauguration on the 20th of January, and formerly was the 47th Vice President of the United States from 2009 to 2017. Now, in a 22-minute address after he was sworn in, 11 minutes early, that is not a coincidence, President Biden drew a sharp contrast between his presidency and the preceding 4 years. So let's look at some of the details of Biden's past. Family corruption. His son, Hunter Biden, and other family members are conduits for a large amounts of slush money, of which Joe apparently takes half of it. And in leaked text messages, Hunter wrote to his daughter Naomi, "But I don't receive any respect, and that's fine, I guess. It's really hard, but don't worry. Unlike Pop, Joe Biden, I won't make you give me half of your salary." Biden's policies. Biden publicly supported a war against Iraq, both before, during, and after the 2002 invasion. And during a 1998 Senate hearing with weapons inspector whistleblower Scott Ritter, a hostile Biden said that the only way we're going to get rid of Saddam Hussein is we're going to end up having to start it alone, and it's going to require guys like you in uniform to be back on foot in the desert, taking this son of a bitch, taking Saddam down. You know it, and I know it. All very coherent, that. Not. In 2002, he was among 77 senators who authorized the then idiot President George W. Bush use of military force in Iraq. 4 months after the American attack, he staunchly defended the invasion to a room full of foreign policy experts at the Brookings Institute in Washington. And he said, 9 months ago, I voted with my colleagues to give the President of the United States of America the authority to use force, and I would vote that way again today. Biden said that on July 31st, 2003. So, Mr. Biden, because you and others are led by psychopaths in Langley, despite Langley using him as a CIA agent, Hussein, suddenly you don't like Saddam. You then bomb their country into the Dark Ages and kill innocent civilians. The Johns Hopkins, yes, that Johns Hopkins, School of Public Health published a study that estimated that in the 18 months following the American invasion in 2003, 100,000 more Iraqis died than would have been expected had the invasion not occurred. 100,000 in 18 months. In total, there has been 900,000 Iraqis dead in 3 decades, all because psychopaths like Biden and the Langley clowns don't like Saddam. Is that rational? Or is that playground bully levels of engagement? You know, with all the mercenary groups who do extractions of people daily, You're not telling me they couldn't have got Saddam and left the Iraqi country intact. I know, common sense again. And these child-level people don't have any sense or brain cells to boot, it seems. And he said it was right to vote then, and it would be a correct vote today. 100,000 people killed just because Biden and his cohorts doesn't like Saddam Hussein. Now, Biden co-authored with Leslie Gelb a 2006 divide and rule plan to segregate Iraq into 3 ethno-religious statelets: Arab Shias, Arab Sunnis and Kurds. How very nice of him. And when he was vice president, Biden contributed to the war propaganda against Libya and also Syria. The prison industrial complex. Biden supported the 1994 Violent Crime and Control and Law Enforcement Act, known as the 1994 Crime Bill. Now, that bill encouraged states to adopt 3 strikes rules that mandated life sentences for repeat offenders, as well as truth in sentencing laws that required inmates to serve at least 85% of their sentences. And it also withdrew federal funding for inmates enrolling in higher education whilst they were incarcerated. So, especially due to the 3 strikes rule, the bill is seen as having contributed to a large increase in mass incarceration, to the great profit of the prison industrial complex, while keeping the black population politically down in a circle of violence and continuation of the COINTELPRO instigation of gang violence and cocaine Contras policies. Remember who runs the cocaine and the Contras. Yes, it's them again, clowns in America. Iraq war crimes, Ukraine war crimes and corruption. Also throw in Chinese espionage. So there's your 3 strikes and out, Mr. Biden. Are you telling me you will not enforce your own policies? The Patriot Act. Joe Biden has repeatedly claimed that a bill he wrote in 1994 was essentially the same as the 2001 Patriot Act. I drafted a terrorism bill after the Oklahoma City bombing, he said, and I introduced the terrorism bill in 1994 that had a lot of these things in it. So there's your 4th strike, Mr. Biden, human rights abuses, because that is what the Patriot Act brought upon us. The war against Yugoslavia. During the wars in Yugoslavia, he campaigned, listen closely, he campaigned for the arming of Bosnian Muslims and supported the action of Osama bin Laden's Arab Legion as well as that of Saudi and Iranian troops. He supported Muslims, bin Laden and Iranian troops. Oh my, you do like contradicting your contradictions, Mr. Biden. Are you related to Drake? But it also shows how American favoritism just shifts just like that. Bin Laden was another CIA agent like Hussein. Hussein was also a trustee. And with his friend and psychopath Senator John McCain, he pushed Bill Clinton into intervening in Kosovo. September the 11th, 2001. Senator Joe Biden, as chairman of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, met with the Pakistani General Mahood Ahmed on the day after September the 11th, 2001. This is the same General Ahmed who transferred $100,000 to the alleged 9/11 hijacker Mohammed Atta, as well as instructing Omar Saeed Sheikh. And he's your president? Biden's COVID-19 policies. As part of his campaign promises, Biden said that as president, he would require wearing face coverings in public mandatory in the United States. Why? Because this is to match his own rubber face mask he wears to cover up that he's actually somebody else. Oops. Michael Osterholm, a member of Biden's 12-person COVID advisor team, wants a US lockdown of 4 to 6 weeks, a position denied by a Biden official as not in line with the president-elect's thinking at the time. But he did say it. In a 2019 fundraiser with rich donors, he promised, "No one's standard of living will change. Nothing would fundamentally change if he is elected." And talking to the New York, including Wall Street crowd, he said, "I mean, we may not want to demonize anybody who has made money." And Biden went on to say that the rich should not be blamed for income inequality and was pleading to the donors, "I need you very badly." In late November 2020, without the public announcements that accompanied the president-elect's cabinet picks, Team Biden added to its agency review groups several picks from big corporations, including Monica Ma, born to, Vice President for Cyber Threat Intelligence at Goldman Sachs, Eric Goldstein, born to, an 18-year-old veteran of Goldman Sachs again, Josh Zoffer, born to, a former engagement manager at McKinsey, who now works at private equity firm Cove Hill Partners. And then Biden's transition team also quietly added 4 Facebook and Go Ogle employees to its agency review teams. In a 2020 interview, Biden claimed there is already a significant representation of progressives in our administration, and the progressive wing in the party responded with incredulous indignation to the claim, like Bernie Sanders, who said that given the significant role the progressive movement played in Biden's victory, the progressive movement deserves a number of seats, important seats, in the Biden administration. Have I seen that at this point? I have not. It was a return to normal, and also means a return to the people of the Council of Foreign Relations. This is the case for Antony Blinken, State, born in and born to, Lloyd Austin, Defense, Alejandro Mayorkas, Homeland Security, William J. Burns, CIA Director, Janet Yellen, born in, born to, the Treasury, Linda Thomas Greenfield, Ambassador to the UN, Gina Raimondo, Commerce, Cecilia Rouse, Chair of the Council of Economic Advisers, John Kerry, Special Envoy for Climate, and even Tom Vilsack, Agriculture, all came from the Council of Foreign Relations, and all mainly largely a group of born to people. Biden is also a friend of Hollywood and is a big supporter of the Hollywood-led ever-expanding copyright racket. Kim.com, founder of the New Zealand-based megasite, said, "I do know from a credible source that it was Joe Biden, the best friend of the former senator and the MPAA boss Chris Dodd, who ordered his former lawyer and now state attorney Neil McBride to take Mega Upload down after a meeting with Hollywood tycoons. And the Motion Picture Association also spent money lobbying the office of the then Vice President Joe Biden. Health issues. In connection with the 2020 presidential campaign, where Biden would be the oldest candidate ever, Dr. Kevin O'Connor of the George Washington University released a medical summary at Biden's request in which he described Biden as a healthy, vigorous 77-year-old. Another jackass expert. One look at him and one listen to him tells you that is not correct, and they lie. And during the campaign, critics frequently pointed out Biden showing signs of cognitive decline, including an inability to hold his own train of thought, forgetting where he is and who he's with, using grossly incorrect use of language and inappropriate behaviour. And whilst Democrats scrambled to defend this as a stutter, while Trump nicknamed him Sleepy Joe. Now, Biden has survived, or the original Biden if he's still around, 2 brain aneurysms in the late 1980s. The condition was later complicated by subsequent deep vein thrombosis and pulmonary embolism. After the second aneurysm was surgically repaired in May of '88, Biden's recuperation kept him away from the Senate for 7 months. And during a live TV debate during the 2020 campaign, Biden's left eye began to go a dark red in colour and fill with blood. It is thought the cause of Biden's scare was a broken blood vessel in the eye, which can be caused by high blood pressure or straining, or, in our world, something far more sinister. Other corruption Biden was involved in. His brother James joined a company called Hillstone International in 2010. At that point, Joe had been vice president for 2 years, and as luck would have it, here's another of those coincidences. In 2011, Hillstone won the bid for a $1.5 billion project in Iraq. And the company was supposed to build 100,000 apartments there. And the project failed, and practically nothing was built, but unfortunately the money vanished. Just like the Clintons in Haiti, remember? But here's a common sense statement. You would not need to build 100,000 new apartments if you hadn't destroyed the originals under false pretenses. And this is the same racket and practice as FEMA after disasters. Money and supplies go missing to private contractors. Yes, you heard that right. But what a racket that is. Declare a country rogue with no evidence. Because if you believe any evidence that comes out of Langley, you're more stupid than you believe. Then bomb it into oblivion, which generates funds for the MI6. Then arrange your private contractor companies to put in a no-bid contract for rebuilding that they blew to smithereens. And if people think that was a joke, I can assure you 100% it's not. The joke is on the American people, as you have to pay for all of this child level and bully tactics. Rape allegations. Biden has been accused by Tara Reid of rape that happened in 1993. User clips of Biden on C-SPAN. Now, C-SPAN allows for users to create shorter clips of uploaded videos, and it appears that many videos that show Biden inappropriately touching children are getting deleted soon after creation in 2020. The issue in general has been part of a mainstream news reporting since mid-2019 after it was reported about in alternative media for years. And it came up again in September 2020 when Twitter flagged the footage as, quote, child sexual exploitation, unquote, despite originating from and being hosted at C-SPAN. Now, Amy Sterling Cassill says some will think, oh, they are protecting Biden. They don't want the public to see how he acts. Who knows, she said. I just know that what he is doing is wrong and signifies a crude, animalistic expression of male dominance. He is seeing how far he can go without being stopped, how far he can dominate these senators, and watching the whole 12 minutes of these swearing-in ceremonies where you could see Biden doing his thing, which is touching children inappropriately, and the reactions of family members was difficult but very instructive. By the end, I thought these people won't even lift a finger to stop him from touching their own innocent children. Why in the hell would anyone think they'd lift a finger to do a thing to help a stranger or strangers? She said. And therein lies the problem, does it not? It's always someone else's problem to fix things. And that is what we have to change if we are going to move forward.